Hey everybody, MTGO bringing you round 2 of this M13 release. This hand's a little bit sketchy because we have a 4 and a 6, but if we hit our mana, we should be good. We should be able to get there with like rummaging goblin and digging and doing things of that nature. We also have a walking corpse, so if he's very aggressive, we can at least put a body in the way. Plus we have another body here. Okay, so Arbor Elf, so he is very aggressive because he's able to get out a dude early. Now we're just kind of hoping that if he plays something, it's not an Elvish Archdruid, because this Cower in Fear is going to be not great. Oh, that's perfect. Now we just want a black source. If we hit a black source, we're just like, we're gonna eat up some elves. Come on, black source, do it one time, be the man. Ah, boo. That's not the end of the world. It gives him the opportunity to overcommit to the board, and hey, he might just double block here, seeing that we're very aggressive. Okay, so he used up his visionary, was not in the mood to do anything else. That's fine. I'm going to play the rummaging goblin over. That's such like, I have a mouth of marbles when I say that. Rummage blah 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 blah. Over the actual scorpion, because the scorpion doesn't really do anything here. Okay, he's setting up potentially for like a bomb, or maybe something along the lines of, I'm going to beat you with mill. So I didn't look back, but you never know. Okay, so it looks like we're just going to do this. I think it's probably not necessary to discard this here. So I'm just going to stumble in with my little dork. I don't want to lose my rummaging goblin. Man, look at that. I said it much better that time around, because of the fact that I, can still make moves and get closer to this 6 mana to kind of nug his big threats that he might play here, kind of like a Sentinel Spider or something of that nature. I don't want to give him the Rummaging Goblin trade for the Arbor Elf, especially if I have the Cower in Fear. Okay, now he probably has a Fairy Invader here, I would have to assume. So I also didn't ditch the Scorpion for some reason that turn, so that was not good. We can trade, which isn't great, but I'm gonna go for it here and just swing in. It's pretty obvious he's telegraphing the Fairy Invader, so I'm gonna swing in with the Furnace Whelp and see if he wants to bite on a trade. Okay, so he doesn't bite on a trade. I think I will be pumping. And we're going to play around unsummon here and just pump the once. And then I'll play this out. I can play this, but I'll hold off on that. I'm playing this game a little bit loose because I'm trying to play around things. I might also want to ditch the Cower in Fear if he plays like a giant worm here, which it looks like he might be playing the giant worm. So I have a draw step. That is totally fine. I will discard the Cower in Fear. Although it's good at killing the Arbor Elf, I really want to be able to block this with a Death Touching Scorpion if I can't do it now. Okay, so we draw, and we're just going to kill that while he has no unsummon or counter mana up. So this guy's going bye-bye. We're kind of running out of options here. So do I want to get in damage? I think I just want to get in 5 here, because our Furnace Whelp is much better in the air. And we got to play around things. Like Encrust here is bad for us. What is this madness? Sentinel Spider. Okay, well, I could have saved my public execution for that. I didn't. And, oh, that's a beating. And now I might just get dead to this spider. So he's somewhat stabilized. I think at this point I could probably ditch any excess lands. The Scorpion's gonna come down, and I think the Kranko's command can also come down to try to overwhelm his board. And then we're not getting in here this turn at least. So we'll make some dudes, and if we end up drawing an arms dealer, that will be very fantastic, as we'll be able to shoot this in the face. I think Black-Red has a bit of a hard matchup against Green because the dudes are so big. Like that Watercourser is actually pretty good, but like I said, this guy's just going to sit in front of anything that he plays that's relevant. My main concern is like a planeswalker here, but if we draw our arms dealer, we could just punch anything he does in the face. Clone, interesting choice. Okay, I would think that's a good call on the spider. You want to play, he's playing offense here, and I am now on the back foot, and one of the major things Magic related is you have to know when to, really turn things on. Okay, so I have the option of turning to slag one of his spiders, which I think I will do. My only other play is Rise from the Grave, like his giant worm, which I think I'm going to wait on. The reason being I might want to Rise from the Grave my giant scorpion. So I'll kill this. I also believe this is the clone, so I can Rise from the grave a clone as well. So I'm not going to push through damage here. There's no point. We're playing like a long game. I'm also not going to chuck a card here, so he's going to know the card in my hand is pretty decent. I will trade out if he decides to swing in with like a Watercourser. Like I'll block with a Goblin and a Walking Corpse. And if he has a Titanic Growth, he has a Titanic Growth. And it'll be somewhat of a blowout. I'm not going to give up my guy here. I'm also not going to take a ton of damage off of this. I have to assume he has Trick here, because if not, that's just like a very poor attack. So I think it's worth drawing out his Trick here and blocking and giving him the option to kill two of my guys or potentially play Trick, kill two of my guys, etc., etc. I mean, I really don't want to trade with my goblins, but I think it's fair, Okay, so he's forcing damage, and I'm gonna be trading out, I believe, and not gonna be discarding. I think I will be discarding this mountain here in hopes to draw something delicious. Like, that's a good one. Can't quite use it yet. I think at this point, you know what? I think I'm just going to Rise from the Grave his giant worm. I think that's probably the better play, because it's so big and he is going to have to trade a lot to really do it. The problem with this play is that if he has like an unsummon, that's going to be pretty poor. I think I could try to get in here with the giant scorpion. He is low, so I'm going to force through a point, which I don't think he's going to mind. So we got to play around a few things. We still have a goblin back. We're at 20. We're not looking too dead. We are going to be dead if he drops a bomb on us. Okay, seems like we got a turn there. Yeah, I think we just play that and go all in. You know what? I think I'm going to wait a turn. And we'll see what happens here. I think these guys are just going to go in. He can still technically block the other two guys. I don't mind being patient here. because once I get the spider out of the way, this comes down and just kills him, and that's, you know, pretty good. I think I'm going to drop the tome here in case I want to draw cards. I don't really want to give him more information. He also might have an essence scatter, which is something I have to be playing around. So if he can't really do anything, then I'm just smashing through. So it was a really good game. He has a lot of good effects, and he has Clone, which definitely scares me, being that I have a Thundermaw Hellkite. So I got to play around things like that. Okay, so he has a pretty decent game against us. He has some elves, but this is too slow. It does give us some pretty good reach against him. I think we're overpowered a lot. Seems like against him, Mind Rot might be okay, so let's bring this in. We're on the draw, so it's not the worst. I like all the other cards in my deck currently, so my Mind Rot might not be the greatest of plays, but I think it's going to be good against him. So now we got to look at what to cut, and there's really nothing I want to cut, honestly. I feel like he's going to have a hard time doing things. He's on the draw, so now it's a matter of, do I cut the Walking Corpse with 11 creatures in favor of a Mind Rot? It seems like I like that play, that line of play, because I get to kind of get some of the cards out of his hand. This hand's very good, actually, if I draw lands. Turn 1, Arsonist. Turn 2, Ring. Turn 3, Equip. I kind of like it. So we're on the draw here. He has no one drop. If he does end up having like something like the Kraken Hatchling, that's going to be a beating against us. All we want now is drawn lands. No Visionary, that's nice. We will gladly swing in here with our little, what are those called? Those guys that set fires. You know who you are, you arsonists. It's like, yeah, the noob almost had to read that card there. Maybe a negate on this. I would think that's an okay play because he did see a lot of my, you know, I had Kill, I had Rise from the Grave. So if he had a negate, that's a fine play. Alright, just some lands is nice. Okay, a Murder's fabulous, but I need lands. So as long as we hit our lands, we're going to be very good. We have a lot of good game coming up against him. Okay, and he's got nothing. I really wish that ring stuck now. Land. God, I knew this was going to happen. Okay, well, we're not out of it yet. He has not put any pressure on, so I'm going to try to stay positive. We started with, what, 3 lands, and we've drawn none, and it's turn 5, and we have good game against what he's doing. Like, if this is a spider, and we draw a black source, we can kill it. If we don't draw a black source, we're okay. We still have a Furnace Whelp. Alright, sweet. I will 1,000,000% of the time murder that now, because that is going to shut my deck down. Like, very hardcore. I can actually, if I get a land, I could rebuy that, which I think is fantastic. Okay, we hit a land, we're going for it. We don't hit a land, which is unfortunate, but still beating in with this little guy. He might have the Fairy Invaders here. There were so many being passed around. I'm going to take the risk and just try to bash in with it. If he blocks it, I shoot him for a point. Okay. Fairy Invaders it is, my man. You got it. Alright, now I can play the Whelp to continue putting pressure on him, or I can play the Rummaging Goblin. to try to dig. Like, if I don't hit my land drop, I might be screwed. So I think I'm actually going to play out the Rummaging Goblin here and kind of try to force that home. He might have an unsummon. I really need lands in this match right now, especially... What's this? I need lands in the worst way if he drops something huge and I gotta kill it. Okay, so he plays a land of his own. And I think I'm probably chucking, believe it or not, the Fire Elemental. Because the Fire Elemental can't block a Fairy Invaders. It can't really do much. If he's got double Fairy Invaders, that's really not bueno for us. But we still have a really long time. Okay. It's drawing land time, hopefully. Chuck this guy. Alright. Is what it is. Playing it out. See if he's got the Essence Scatter. I'm kind of glad he didn't have another Fairy Invaders there, because that would have been a beating. So all I'm going to do is try to draw lands and kill things. This is a giant worm. I'm going to be sad, Panda. Yeah, this looks like a giant worm. Okay, I don't have a removal spell that can deal with that currently. I can technically block it, but I'm just going to dig and take some damage. Alright, so we hit the land. Now we can chuck a card. Let's see. We can swing him down to 7 here. Yeah, you know what? I like trying to force Thundermaw Hellkite. Like, I could just kill the Fairy Invaders, but with double public execution, I think we're... Put him down. We could rise from the grave this. He's still got clone we got to worry about. This doesn't do it. Maybe we have to turn to slag this and just get in for 2 here. Then try to execute that going to 7. Yeah, I think that's going to be the play. Just do that. And then we'll swing in with the Furnace Scamp and get a 2 in. I'm not really worried about taking a hit from this. I think it might just happen. He might just have the counter spell here, and you know that's gonna be pretty bad. I'm gonna take the 8. Right now I don't want to get rid of anything. Okay. So we hit here. I'm going to try to main phase kill his worm. Because if this hits, then I'm good. Really, dude? Who has redirect? Alright, well, we're dead. So, yep, you got it. Alright, well, we were hampered by land there, not getting enough of it, which is unfortunate. I probably maybe should have tried to play like another dude out, or that furnace swing would have saved some damage. But let's go to sideboarding. I could have soaked up a few of the damage there, but not the greatest, because he would have killed my guy. Okay, I still think I like this much better on the play. I think we're good. We got to play around his counter spells. It seems like we do need some early blockers, but I think Mind Rot's going to be good against him. All right, let's go to game 3 and let's rock this. We're going to do this thing right now. We're playing first. Seems like his early game is not amazing. Kind of wish we had the option of doing things against him. I'm going to keep this. It doesn't apply that much pressure, but Cower and Fear is actually pretty good against him if I hit my black source. Plus we have a 5/4, which isn't amazing either, but it's decent. It's decent. Okay, Dragon Hatchling is probably pretty sweet. I wanted to get the blackout in case I need to drop the Cower next turn and take out one of his mana dorks or something like that. Okay, see what this is. Probably a Visionary. Oh, a Farseek. Okay, that kind of fixes things and is a little bit better than the Visionary. I can stick this and do no damage. I think I just go to the air here and hit him for 2. Right now he's currently got to deal with this threat. And then, you know, he'll do his own thing. He'll take 2 here, which isn't great, but it's working on it. I'm not happy that he was able to speed ahead with Farseek. Blue has a lot of good tricks, a lot of good mana with Farseek. Okay, let's go for a whiff here. I'm cool trying to ride this guy out, at least currently, but I would like to not have... Okay, I guess he did whiff, which is pretty sweet. I currently want to just have a lot of removal. Alright, that's a good one. Play around his redirect. Alright, we're gonna pump this in 3 times and go for it. I haven't seen any unsummons. I know I'm probably giving myself the old kiss of death here. But this Dragon Hatchling is gonna be doing work. Okay, we know he has spells like Negate. Hopefully this isn't Sentinel Spider, because it's a turn too early. Alright, Watercourser doesn't really do much. I'll take 1. Now the question is, do I keep riding this out, or do I drop a 5/4? I think I'm just going to keep riding this guy out. Watercourser will hit me for 4. Yeah, I think we're still winning this race. We have Public Execution next turn. So outside of him really kicking our butt with an unsummon, totally fine with just Dragon Hatchling it up. Okay, Watercourser's, I believe, going to hit us for a bunch, unless he's got a better follow-up play. Got to play around Redirect, we got to play around Negate. So those are some things. Okay. Searching for the Augur of Bolus. Redirect. Alright, well, we're going to take 4 here. So I think since he's got redirect mana, he's always got to play around redirect. I can kill his guy now, but his dudes really are not doing anything to me. I don't even think we need to go away from this play. I mean, I think we're putting him in a position where he's got to tap out. So I think we're going to switch gears a little bit here. And I think we're going to currently... If we put him to 7, we're really all in on this guy. If we don't put him to 7, we have a lot of different plays, one of them being Fire Elemental. Now, he might have an Essence Scatter in hand, and if that's the case, then we're going to be a little bit boned. But we still have him at 10. We have a Searing Spear in hand, and we have the option to kind of ride the dragon out and put some ground pressure on. Now he could trade with the water courser, so we got to keep that in mind. And we got to just play around redirect because we know it's in his hand. And if we're able to just ride out this dragon hatchling in the air, then we're good. And that's all I'm gonna do is just swing with these guys. Now, Fairy Invaders is actually gonna get us here. And there's not much I could do about it, so I'm actually gonna swing in with both. If he has the Fairy Invaders, he has the Fairy Invaders. I don't really have a follow-up play. Okay, so he just goes all in with the block. And I'll just go all in with this attack. And we're giving him time to try to deal with my ground guys. And then I'm going to just drop a giant scorpion. There's no sense in doing anything else. All of my removal spells are horrendous against him right now because redirect just bones me in the face. But it seems like he might be bricking, and I'm just trying to play around his mana. Once again, Fairy Invaders is a little bit difficult for us. I want to skip my attack phase. So we'll go in with everybody. And we will once again pump it up. And we'll pump this in. There needs to be a faster way to do this. And he might have to trade out the water courser here. But if he does that, then I'm just going to kill it with my Cower and Fear. And this will be before blocks. Now he might have a negate, but that's fine. So now I'm going to kill his water courser. Okay, so he negates, and his water courser will trade out with my fire elemental, and then my death touch guy will kill his Augur of Bolus, and he'll go to 2. And then he's got to have an answer. He might have a giant growth or something, but titanic growth, but this still trades out and kills it. Okay, so we make some trades. I'm tapped out. I'm gonna play this land just in case I need to. And he's gonna have an answer. 2 answers technically. The reason I played out the land there was because I want to be able to publicly execute and Searing Spear if I need to. So this should be pretty elementary at this point. I can't even speak. Swinging with these guys. I'm going to pump this guy once. And outside of a fog, we just kill him. And that's a good game. Alright, please check out the website, themtgnoob.com. Please also check out our stream for our Twitch. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Please